In August and September 2024, the far north region of Cameroon was hit by unprecedented floods. Among the hardest hit areas, the Mayo-Danay Division recorded enormous agricultural, material, and human losses. The localities of Ngaya, Vada, Vunalum, Zulamusi, Jogoidi, and Drumka are among those that have suffered the most from this disaster, seeing their fields, homes, and livelihoods severely affected.
We lost everything, our farms, our houses, our animals, all the hectares of rice like the dynamic woman did, 10 hectares, the 6 was flooded.
The water affected us in such a way that we set up 1,100 acres of irrigated rice, but we ended up with 100 hectares, which means that all other crops were submerged. The Yagwa subdivision paid a heavy price, destroyed infrastructure, devastated agricultural lands, deeply affected local communities. Agricultural losses are estimated at more than 10,317.78 acres, not counting data from Semri. The human toll, however, remains tragic. 11 confirmed deaths according to the joint report by OCHA and the Divisional Committee for Flood Prevention and Management in Mayo-Danay. The disaster has disrupted the way of life of the inhabitants of Yagwa, plunging the region into a major food crisis. Faced with the magnitude of the needs, the Cameroonian government, supported by several NGOs, has stepped up its actions in the fields of education and food security, but the latter remained the most struggling sector. It is in this context that Good Neighbors Cameroon, in close collaboration with the authorities, has implemented targeted initiatives to reduce food insecurity and support the most vulnerable populations. It is a plus Good Neighbors supports our producers, since it was about assisting them in capacity building and structuring these cooperatives. In addition to that, it happened at the time when we had this disaster that you all know. That's how Good Neighbors found it useful to support the producers in this field of vegetable farming to help them become resilient with the current situation. As there is no cultivation, we had to get into vegetable farming to overcome these challenges. As part of its commitment, Good Neighbors first conducted a thorough needs assessment phase through focus groups with the affected communities, the objective being to identify assistance priorities and ensure aid tailored to local communities. This was followed by the precise identification of cultivation sites in order to inventory the impacted agricultural areas and those still usable, a strategic step to effectively plan the recovery and ensure a sustainable resumption of agricultural activities. Next comes the training phase for the beneficiaries, led by the Good Neighbors team. It aimed to strengthen skills and optimize the use of the support received.
On nous a formés sur les pertes post.
We were trained on post-harvest losses, how to maintain a store, how to arrange products inside, and regarding the seeds, the producers were used to sow them by broadcasting. But we learned a new technique. We should sow them in row instead. We were also taught how to transplant in rows, not as we did before. We have to respect the intervals. I think in the end we will be fulfilled producers.
Répliquer Auparavant, on sera des producteurs comblés.
The distribution of seeds, fertilizers, and equipment, particularly water pumps, marked a significant moment. Accompanied by the effective start of cultivation activities, it reassured the beneficiaries about the attention given to their situation.
Good Neighbors ne nous a pas abandonnés.
Good Neighbors did not abandon us. They came to distribute onion seeds, watermelon seeds, tomatoes, peppers to fight against poverty and famine that is trying to take hold in our region.
This also continued with rigorous monitoring, ensuring better performance. Finally, the opening of the monitoring phase of young crops until harvest was a decisive step. It allowed for a concrete evaluation of the impact of the support provided and the tangible fruits of the joint efforts between Good Neighbors and the beneficiaries. A significant commitment for these men and women of the land, determined not only to fight against famine but also to ensure their children's education.
Aujourd'hui, c'est la récolte.
Today is harvest. We had a good harvest. You yourself can see the harvest is proof. We already have onions. We have okra. Now we just need to sell these products, buy millet, and also send the children to school. It's a total source of pride. It's time for us to say thank you to Good Neighbors.
Merci. Good Neighbors.
We have now managed to harvest the watermelons, as you can see. Last week we harvested 2 quarters at 45 per quarter, so we have been very successful. We also found good returns. We say thank you very much to Good Neighbors.
Nous avons fait 4 hectares.
We have done 4 acres. In this yield, we estimate to have 1,200 bags, which is 120 tons of harvest. This is a considerable support for the cooperative and will be able to raise the standard of living for the members.
The success of this harvest is also to the permanent presence of the Good Neighbors team and the instructions provided to ensure optimal and high quality yield. For the beneficiaries, it is much more than a successful harvest. It is a victory that soothes the wounds and gradually erases the pain left by the floods. The first steps towards the city markets, the motorcycle loaded with products, carry with them the hope of a new beginning and the fruit of so much effort. Beyond the numbers and the efforts, it is above all the story of a resilience recovered in the eyes of these women and men in the fields that gradually turned green again. Hope is reborn, a powerful hope, that of a new beginning.
Good Neighbors found it useful to give us a hand, to support us, and this helps improve the living conditions of our populations. We are delighted with this support, and we further encourage Good Neighbors to act even more and to reach out to other organizations that are not in their portfolio. Currently, we have 14 cooperatives that benefit from Good Neighbors support in the vegetable farming component. It's already good. We are involved in watermelon, onion cultivation, there is tomato. It's already a lot. And all we want to say as the sector supervisor is to encourage organizations like Good Neighbors to come and help us, because we are coming out of a difficult situation of floods where we, the populations and the producers, lost crops, lost animals, and currently we are struggling to find food. And that is why we say thank you to Good Neighbors, which has already started into the current season, which is the season of good harvest, and that gives us support. It gives us the material to face this difficulty.
The wounds of the floods fade with the rhythm of the harvest that promise life. The support of the NGO Good Neighbors embodies this unwavering strength, this precious bond woven between solidarity and courage. Each seed sown is the promise of a better tomorrow, not only for families, but also for the entire community. Today, the beneficiaries dance with joy, celebrating together this new hope that is reborn.